What's up, squad? Back with another video. I see the titles went out. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. I wasn't trying to be too loud. My daughter is literally asleep behind me. So if y'all see me talk low, that is possibly why. I'm sure y'all can hear me a little bit. If I do talk a little low during this, sometimes I forget as I'm doing now, and I feel like I'm talking loud because I got these headphones on. But it literally goes to show you right here, Collin County Court has officially released this, these the evidence files, of this trial of Karmelo Anthony. That's physical evidence, official photos of the knife recovered at the scene and Karmelo Anthony's backpack. This is the backpack of Karmelo Anthony, as y'all can see, as well as the knife. This knife is, believe it or not, it may look small on the photos, but I can tell y'all right now that that knife is a pretty big knife. It's a pretty big knife to do some heavy damage, and I don't know why people are making it seem like it's not, but it's truly sad that people are making it out to be like it's just this small itty bitty knife, and it's not. It says visual documentation, surveillance footage capturing the activity inside the Memorial High School tent, minutes leading up to the confrontation. Key movements, video clip spotlighting Anthony's path as he walked past the team tent. Arrest footage, body-worn camera recordings capturing the immediate aftermath and the moments Anthony was taken into custody. Following a week-long trial that concluded with a 35-year prison sentence, these releases offer the public a closer look at the exhibits jurors considered before reaching their verdict, which is definitely understandable of what, truly has happened, within this. Me personally, the way, and I look at this, just think about this, y'all. As I'm looking at this book bag, and this is me just being me thinking about, a lot of things. I find it completely odd. I find it completely weird. I don't know if he grabbed it from, because it looked like, I don't think it's like a zipper like in the front. I don't know if that was like the only thing or if he had easy access to it. And it's a big enough knife, knife, but like at the same time, it's small enough to fit, obviously in a big book bag. And when you reaching in, you have to look around. It's more so like he knew what he was doing. It wasn't, I can't say it was easy access, but it really wasn't that easy. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is he knew exactly what he was doing. It was more so like he knew exactly where it was. And that's it, and that's all. I mean, it's nothing else that, to it, possibly. You literally have it right here. This is LFR family. Good to see LFR. Haven't seen, his videos in a minute, but I definitely tell you that he truly had an amazing point, within this. Check it out.
When me and my brothers was in high school and middle school, we played too much. Do you know how many people we grabbed by the face and smushed them? Do you know how many people we smacked for no reason? Do you know how many people we pushed for no reason? Do you know how many people we punched to the body for no reason? Came up from behind them and started choking them for no reason, just playing. Or sometimes if we didn't like them, we did that because we were just testing the waters. Let me tell y'all something. A push is not a reason to stab somebody. A mush is not a reason to stab somebody unless you just want to go to jail. Unless you just want the person that's sitting across from you to go to hell. So please stop making up excuses for this whole Karmelo Anthony case. The video came out. It shows a whole bunch of people underneath that tent. Melo was underneath there first before the team came and sat there. And one of his friends was egging him on from the bottom of the bench. Got it all popping, walked away after everything started moving and grooving. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all are not helping the situation by making up excuses. The young man should be arrested, locked up for a long damn time for taking somebody's son. Period. If you can't fight, then walk away. If you can't fight, then snitch. Raise your hand. We've been taught that since we were in elementary school. Tell the teacher, hey, coach. Call a coach. Yep. He put his hands on me.
That's it.
Call your girlfriend. If you a punk and you need for her to daggone, girls ain't scared of nothing. Y'all know that. So please stop making up excuses for this young man. Also, stop celebrating his demise because that's going to come back on you. A lot of y'all call yourselves children of God, but you're celebrating the fact that This
Maybe
boy
he took a
is
life.
in prison for 17.5 years before he's able to be released off of good behavior or whatever the case may be. I don't know law, but a lot of y'all are celebrating it, and it's BS, bro. It's BS. Also, F Chud the Builder.
One thing about it, I truly feel that regardless of it, you have so many people that don't understand the importance of how serious this is and how bad they look when they do things, in a sort of celebrating and congratulating somebody that did this to another kid. I truly find that wild, and it truly hurts me in a way that people act like this and they do things like this. It's truly sickening. I'll tell you that much. Says right here that after Karmelo Anthony was convicted of what he did, supporters began circulating a new narrative, claiming that the footage of the incident shows that Austin Metcalf fell onto the knife, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it keeps getting worse.
So now they're saying Karmelo Anthony didn't kill that boy. They're saying in the actual footage, you will see Metcalf fell on the knife. Allegedly. And don't ask why we ain't got the actual footage. But to me, it still don't matter. Because that's like me getting caught with another woman and telling my girl she fell on my dick.
That's wild.
So now they...
I'm not gonna lie. I have to take that word out of here. Y'all probably not gonna hear it because the word is all, but y'all kind of get the point on, what he's saying. But I find it pretty hard to believe that people are now going with this narrative. I can't really say that. Like, I truly can't. I'm truly not surprised. I feel like there's so many things that they keep constantly coming out with, and it's like it gets worse and worse each and every day. Truly, it gets worse and worse each and every day. Then you have Dr. Umar, not a doctor, it's just Umar, that literally sounds just as ridiculous.
Austin fell onto Karmelo's knife trying to attack him because the knife is 3.5 inches. The cut was only 2. Loon, if I'm stabbing you, why am I going halfway with a knife blade that's only 3.5 inches? You fell onto my knife.
I heard no evidence of Karmelo Anthony or Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I heard no evidence of that.
Nobody heard evidence of that. You just have a bunch of morons thinking they know what they're talking about and just making up things.
And there were 21 people, who was considered for the jury. You had grand jury testimony and all of this other stuff going on. And there was 21 people that were talked to. There were witnesses that were in attendance. Nobody talked about Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I don't know where that comes from. And obviously because of how severe the penalty was, 35 years in prison, we're going to take into account history from an historical perspective, from a racist perspective, and we're not going to be uncomfortable with the discrepancy that exists between somebody like Casey Allison compared to a Karmelo Anthony. I got that part. But that doesn't give us a license to then turn around and to just come up with stuff that might have been, as opposed to listening to the evidence that was actually disseminated and making reaching a conclusion based off of that. Karmelo Anthony was quoted as saying to Austin Metcalf, "Put your hands on me and find out what's going to happen."
Again, regardless, any given situation, people have to stop what they're doing. I told y'all from the get-go, this is not doing nothing but making things worse and worse and worse. I'm telling y'all. This is Karmelo Anthony. This is a spokesperson. As Carmelo Anthony's supporters are devastated after his spokesperson debunked the conspiracy that Carmelo was jumped by Austin McCabe. So not only are they saying that Austin fell onto the knife, but people are now saying that he was jumped. And they're trying to change this whole thing around. Carmelo has now a new team, and they're trying everything they can and saying and making up lies as much as possible. And it's truly, truly wild. I'm telling y'all.
What I want to know is the video, right? Taking it back to the case, there's so many conflicting stories about this video. Now, what we saw inside the courtroom was a grainy, hard to see video, but there was a lot of people outside the courtroom who said that they went to ISD and watched the footage and said that it was clear, and they said that they saw more than what we were shown. Can you speak on that?
Well, so Nick, you know I wasn't in there, right? But I can tell you I did see the video at Frisco ISD. And the video that at Frisco ISD, it's not like you can sit there and look at the pimple on someone's face, but you can identify what's there, right? In front of you. And so what has been described to me, is like, no, you could at least kind of know and count how many people right there.
Well,
what I
we
thought.
can count how many bodies, but we can't see like faces. You know what I mean? Like we could see like, okay, somebody.
But I feel like that doesn't matter. Like I feel like they're trying to push this whole thing of who is sitting here, who is sitting over here, who is sitting, regardless of the fact he did what he did. I don't see how hard it is for people to understand that.
I sit right there, but we couldn't see like Karmelo in Austin's face, or you know what I mean? It just was like kids there.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were saying that they were able to see him getting jumped. I couldn't see that. So I was wondering if you guys saw something different.
No. It's not. I didn't see that with that video. No.
His spokesperson said he did not see that within that video. The person, and I'm gonna tell y'all one thing about Dominique Alexander. Dominique Alexander feels as if he won. In his mind, he has. I'm gonna tell y'all why. The reason why is because with all of this said and done, I'll tell y'all right now, they didn't care about Karmelo. They care about the image. They care about the color of his skin because he was black. This is somebody that he represented, so the black people look at him like he tried his best. He got paid. He got paid. They made all that money, and him and his team got paid.
I didn't see him getting jumped. Oh, you know what I mean? Like I saw movement over there. I saw that there was multiple people around him, but I didn't see he was getting, you know what I mean, like the altercation. No.
There y'all have it. At all. I'm telling y'all. Truly, truly sickening. Check it out, y'all.
What up, fam? I'm going to say this and then I'm going to drop it. Black people don't have deductive reasoning. We just don't have deductive reasoning. First of all, when the police walked up on Karmelo Anthony, there's footage of him telling the cops,
I did it.
Put his hands on me. Mm-hmm. I told him not to touch me. He put his hands on me. I told him, he meaning one person.
He didn't say they. He didn't say
him,
they.
Meaning one person.
So everybody talking about he got jumped and this, that, and the other. Karmelo easily could have said, they put their hands on me. I was outnumbered and I feared for my life. They put my hands on me. They did none of that. One person.
Karmelo Anthony nor his lawyer has ever said that he was jumped. Black people made up the idea that he was jumped for him. And it's sad. And it proves why we can't rise and have nothing, because we're too emotional and can't think. We can't deduct anything. He put his hands on me. When the cop said, "Are you the alleged stabber?" He said, "I'm not alleged. I did it." He put his hands on me. I told him not to touch me. I warned him. So in Karmelo's mind, if you touch him or put your hands on him, he can stab and kill you. He never said he was jumped. His lawyer never said he was jumped. The 21 witnesses for the prosecution never said he was jumped. Where are these black people with these emotional minds just deciding he was jumped?
People got to make it make sense. That's it, and that's all. People have to make it make sense. So right here, people are literally outraged. Says newly released child photos show Karmelo Anthony with Edwin and his family, despite Edwin testifying they were not friends. And we're going to clear a lot of this up too. There's so many things that people have been saying, so many things that people have been doing in order to do their own investigations to make it seem like they know what they're doing, and they truly don't. But I'm going to show y'all what Sarah Fields had to say. Check it out within this video. Clearly see that this is the family. That's, obviously Karmelo and his girlfriend and, a boy named Edwin that testified in these photos. As y'all are seeing this, people are looking at the fact that he testified, he said this, he said that, Sarah Fields commented and said they knew each other. He never denied that. The only reason they hung out was because he was close with Karmelo's now ex-girlfriend. His parents and her parents were friends. Nearly every photo, Karmelo's girlfriend is the common denominator. Speaking of Karmelo's girlfriend, why didn't she testify on Karmelo's behalf? Why didn't any of his friends testify for him? The only person who spoke up for Karmelo during the trial was his mother. And through all of my investigating, reporting, and interviews over the past year, not a single student parent stood up on Karmelo's behalf. Nearly everything I heard was negative, including from the local mall security officer who told me he knew Karmelo because of his behavior. The trial is over, and now I'm going to tell people every detail I learned over this year, which I truly love. That's why I keep on telling y'all to make sure y'all follow Sarah Fields, because she has a lot of what she has said, a lot that she clearly has to get out. And when I tell y'all that this is something that truly irks my nerve that people are doing, it truly is. They come out with their own narratives and what this, that, and don't know nothing. It literally all goes to show you for itself. You truly have somebody that didn't have not one positive nothing. Nobody got up there and said nothing positive. Nobody spoke about Karmelo, this, that, nothing. Nobody did none of that. Because it didn't matter. He did what he did. Now he has to face those consequences. I mean, it's easy as that. You literally have it right here. Said I made contact with Hunter Metcalf and then Edwin, such and such. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with their coaches on the field, and it was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to a locker room just to the east to get out of the rain. Once in there, things calmed down a bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk. In there, I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim. I attempted to ask them both what had happened. I could not really get anything out of Hunter because, again, he's traumatized. That, at the end of the day, that is his brother, Says, but Edwin stated he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent when another male who he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. I don't think that's Edwin. I can't be sure who that is. I'm not even going to lie, but it says, Ben Edwin. Says, then said, Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. He said during this time of the argue, the male was reaching around his back. I was at the time. The male took out the knife, stabbed Austin, and left the scene. That's all I remember from that. So you clearly see a lot of what's going on, and it's truly, truly sickening. Check it out, Megan Kelly.
Now, with all of this evidence released to the public, are any of these supporters beginning to understand why Anthony was found guilty? Are they sorry for their incendiary rhetoric? Are they sorry for Hunter Metcalf and causing him more harassment and harm by starting a change.org petition to have him arrested for assault, even though there's zero evidence he laid hands on Karmelo Anthony? They want the brother arrested. There are literally people out there saying that they should dig up Austin Metcalf and piss on his grave and on him. Are they sorry? No. Certainly haven't expressed one word of that. One well-known Karmelo Anthony supporter, Tiffany Billions, #goals, who helped raise money for Karmelo after his arrest, writing on X, quote, "Releasing the footage of a terrified black teenager on Juneteenth is a slap in the face to all of Black America. Karmelo defended himself against monstrous bullies. Karmelo is alive because he defended himself. You can clearly see Karmelo Anthony being attacked under the canopy. This is why we'll keep fighting until he's free." This is not about black versus white. This is about civilized versus uncivilized. It's about honest versus dishonest.
Mm-hmm.
It's about sane versus insane.
Truly.
You know, these people do not speak for the black community. I will never accept that.
At all. No, I agree. I ain't going for it. I don't know about I'm not going for it. I'm telling y'all. Trust and believe, very, very sickening. What's even more sickening within this whole thing, though, is that Austin Metcalf's father says Karmelo Anthony family has shown zero remorse after his son was unalive. Says they decided to play the race card instead, which, again, I'm not surprised about. And they're still continuing to, do that. Check it out.
I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominic Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, had me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card. And now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was, please don't make this about race and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible. And your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability maybe and some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Have you ever spoken to the Anthonys?
No.
No apology, no remorse?
Nothing.
You were telling me you were inside the courtroom, quite obviously. After the verdict, the Anthonys left. They weren't there for Karmelo's sentencing.
That is correct. They weren't there for the sentencing, and they were not there for victim impact statements. They left that poor child up there by himself. As soon as the verdict was read, he was guilty. His family and some other advocates left the courtroom.
What I feel like people don't understand, though, is that Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, has been, I would even say, there for everybody. Obviously there for his son. His, I don't know if it's his ex-wife or, Megan Metcalf. There for Hunter. There for Karmelo Anthony's parents, seeing how he showed up to the press conference and wanted to talk, things out like you're supposed to, your parents. Then for Karmelo, they left that poor child. I mean, that poor child up there alone. Still having that care for him, though. Still having that care. Like, people got to make it make sense. But then yet, people still treat this family like BS after losing a son, a brother, a teammate, a friend. All of the above. It's truly, truly sickening, that people act out this way and do these things. Mind you, multiple times during this interview, we went over this whole interview. Y'all can check those videos out. Literally said a few times of literally giving out, just being and speaking nicely of Karmelo. Because he feel as if, even though he did this to his son, that regardless, those parents are being parents. They aren't being parents to Karmelo, and they aren't being parents to Austin and his family. They have no character at all, whatsoever. Truly. One thing about it is that his parents is getting investigated, and looking at some jail time. Check it out.
Well, Anthony's parents could end up in a cell right next to him for fraud. It's being alleged that hundreds of thousands of dollars meant for Anthony's murder defense went elsewhere. Investigators are reportedly examining whether an LLC connected to Anthony's parents was used to receive or move donated funds, and whether those transactions matched what the donors were told that the money would be used for. This is likely linked to that $600,000 home his parents purchased and the luxury vehicle. Now, the family's fundraising campaign ultimately raised more than $600,000 before it was shut down after Anthony's conviction, putting enormous public attention on how those donations were handled. If people donated believing that the funds were going to be used for a legal defense, they deserve complete transparency. If the allegations are false, then the family deserves to have its name cleared. But if this investigation is true, then it's almost as controversial as the criminal case itself. What do you guys think? Well.
One thing about it is that I want them to definitely look into it. Not only that, says right here, Austin Metcalf's family should sue, Karmelo Anthony for wrongful death and take every dollar that was raised for him. And if y'all agree, let me know if y'all agree. But me personally, I truly do feel like that, because I feel like it's definitely important. I feel like they truly are continuing to do whatever they possibly want to when it comes down to it. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. I feel like it's something that is definitely hurtful. That they constantly trying to raise money for this boy and I'm telling y'all, it's not right. It's truly not right. His parents are literally money hungry. Dominic Alexander's whole team is money hungry. Everybody is money hungry because they seen how I would say how this case spread so much. It spread so much. So now everybody wants to hop onto this. So one thing about it, I definitely say that regardless, I'm going to be giving y'all another video because I want to explain. I want to go over this team supposedly that he has. So just stay tuned. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. Let me know y'all comments, thoughts on this video. Catch y'all next one.